And what's up, folks? I'm back. If you didn't see my stream earlier, go watch it. It's about the different paints that you do to start your journey with miniatures. But tonight, we're doing a base. So, as you can see here, I've got my figure that I got. This is the deep cuts that we have in the store. These are the evil wizards. So, let me show you here on the back. There they are. Look like that. To remind you, I am Jon Caspian. Look at that. Yeah, I've been working some After Effects. Very fun. So what I've done here is I've went ahead and did pretty much all of the layers of his body. I'm going to do a quick turnaround. Now you'll notice that this is actually the top of the Citadel painting handle. There's the bottom of it. It screws off. If you didn't know that, it is awesome because you can put it on a tripod. How do you beat that? I don't know if it's possible. It might be possible. I'm not sure. Hi, Amy. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. So let me get this thing turned around here, like you see. So there's the front. We'll tour around. So this guy's not actually an evil wizard in my campaign. I am playing him as an Eladrin Stormcaster. The subclass is based off of the Xanathar's Guide to Everything. There's the Storm book that he's got, I guess. It even says S on there. I tried to get it to say S. So hopefully you can see that. And then he's got that originally is a fireball, but I changed that to lightning because he's a Stormcaster. And why not? Let me get that back to the original view there. Something like that. There we go. So I've hand-drawn some, if you can see it right there. There we go. Hand-drawn the lightning bolt from the book. He's casting from there. And the Eladrin character, interestingly enough, this hood doesn't have any sort of ears, so this character could easily be an elf, half-elf, human, many different races. You could change it depending on how you are doing that. But we are going to be looking at the base. So I've got here, turn that a little bit downwards for you to see, assuming it doesn't fall off my little stand here. There we go. I'm going to move this up a little bit for us. And bam, there we go. So the base is that nice Sterland brown, and that is one that you can get at Gigabytes. This one's particular Sterland Battlemire. So there's like Sterland Mud and then Battlemire. And I think this one's the one that has a little bit more texture to it. There's a little more going on. Let me bring the light a little bit closer so we can see it better. There we go. Nice. You can see that nice and good. Change the focus. There we go. You can see the texture on the mud now. Nice and good. And then that mud goes on top of the rock. So my thought behind that is, well, he's stepping on a big rock and maybe it shifted and the mud is now around it. So it just depends on what kind of environment that you think they're in. But no matter what, it's pretty cool. So y'all let me know if the quality is good on that one. It should be good. We're streaming at 1080p. So you let me know if there's any issue with that at all. Sound should be okay as well. I fixed that earlier. But if it's not, just let me know. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to change a little bit of the coloring and also add a little bit more depth. So we're going to throw a wash on it, and then we are going to throw a little highlight color. I think I'm going to change it to more of a grass. And the grass is not going to change the texture necessarily, but just changing the color might make it look a little more like a low-level grass. So we're going to go with Agrax Earthshade. And that might not be strong enough, so we might have to throw in Nuln Oil, which is the traditional black. So let's go ahead and start. If you are painting tonight, say hi. Tell me what you're painting. I don't know if you can put what you're painting on the stream. I don't know if you can do that or not with a picture, but definitely tell me. And then post to whatever group that you're painting, because we love to see what it is, especially if you're at Gigabytes. If you're at Gigabytes and painting, we'd love you. But we love you anyway, because you're a fan if you're watching this. All right, that's all right, but it's not adding enough of the dark for me, so I'm gonna go with the Nuln Oil. I think that's just not enough. It doesn't feel like enough, and you gotta have a lot. Null oil is very, very important. To me, it's one of the prime washes. Obviously, it's just a dark wash. But all right, I now have the stream open in case someone comments on my phone because I'm streaming it from the computer here. It's a nice little webcam, so gets everything up close and personal. All right, let's go in. What's really cool about this holder, the Citadel holder, and that might be a little heavy-handed there with the shade. That's all right. I get the back while I'm got all this on there. The Citadel handle, the fact that it comes off, you can put it on a mini tripod, and this mini tripod is just, I got it for like $5. It might have been Walmart, something like that. I'd lift it up and show you. I'll show you a little bit later. But I highly recommend it if you like to have your model higher rather than down. I don't like to slouch over. I like to have it a little bit higher. It also forces me to stay sitting up straight better. There. Yeah, that may be a little bit wet. I don't think I got the backside there. There we go. Hard to see from this angle. Bam. That's not too bad. So then the rock needs to be a mixture of gray and metallic. So if you are painting and you are you're thinking about a rock, right? It has most of it's gray, but it could be a little bit muddied. So you could throw an Agrax Earthshade to show that there's been some people walking on it, especially if it's a large rock. You can throw a little bit of Agrax Earthshade. I think I'm going to do that rather than straight to Nuln Oil, especially since it'll help bring it in line with the brown, which is more of a reddish brown anyway. The Sterling Mud is not a cool brown at all. Definitely a warmer one. So let's throw the Agrax on there. And this one I'm going to be very careful with. I'm going to actually come back in with my shade brush. And I'm going to get some of the Agrax off of it that I just put on. And what that'll do is, it's better. Make sure to get it just in the extreme recesses and just a slight muddying effect. Too much and it looks just like mud. Yeah, pretty good. Get the backside there. There we go, and bam, nice even coverage. Could probably get a little bit more on the side behind his foot. That's on the opposite side of the figure for me, so I gotta get up and over this. There we go. Yeah, that'll do. And if it's ever too extreme, you always just come back over it with your base color, which in this case is Mountain Stone for the Reaper line. And then that's good. So we're going to wait a second while that dries. We're going to look back up at the figure now. And as I'm looking at him, I feel like there's still not enough dark contrast. Now, it could depend on how this light is hitting it. So let's change that a little bit. Bring it down. What do y'all think? Is there enough contrast in this for this figure? Let's look at it. So what we need, what I'm thinking of, is creating some lines here where the rope or I'd say the rope or hemp or whatever it is matching his skin. I think the similarity is a little too close. In order to highlight the rope, I had to do a kind of a leather brown color, and leather brown is close enough to skin. I don't think there's enough contrast there in the two colors. I think we're good up in his face. I think that's a pretty good contrast there in the levels. Maybe a little bit more shade inside the neck area, right there. I don't know. Y'all let me know if that sounds good. Yeah, you can turn your screen sideways to get a good full view of the figure. Turn screen sideways, that's probably the best. So yeah, that's good. And then in terms of getting around these, I think for the Evil Wizard, these are like goat heads or something. But that's, I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm feeling the silver on the goat heads. I don't know. I'm going to move this a little bit down like this, just so we don't see that live symbol on his face. We can get that properly. There we go. Cool. So we're back down to looking at that Sterling Mud. Now, it's still drying with the shade, which could take a little bit of time since it's liquid. but I'm going to go ahead and go over it with a dry brush with Army Green. And Army Green is the same color of the base coat of his cloak. What I've done now with this cloak is, if I turn him around, I've actually added blue highlights, which they're a little bit subtle. If you're looking at it on the camera, it's not as subtle in person. The difference is a little more extreme. I mixed some of the Army Green with, I want to say, Teclis Blue. Yep, Teclis Blue, and that created some of that nice blue highlight. And so when we're thinking about going to the base, we have to do sort of a contrast with warmth. So we're going to take the Army Green, and then we're going to actually throw a little bit of red with it. So I have a couple of different red options. Some are a little extreme, and others maybe not so much. So for instance, I have Carnage Red. That is a little bit above maroon. So, I don't know. What do y'all think? This is a tough choice because you want it to have a, make sure that's focused properly. You want it to have a contrast, but if it looks too extreme, then it might look unrealistic or just kind of weird. I don't know. But for sure, we're going to go ahead and do one dry brush layer over with the traditional Army Green. And that one, it really just looks like, where did I put my wet palette? Oh, wet palette's over there. Give me 1 second. There we go. There it is. Army Green is going to be that color right there. So it's a good one. Very good color. I actually like it a lot. It's a nice one. So I got to put a little bit more on here. It's a little bit on the dry side now. All right, get the palette, get the paint. And you do want to do, when you're doing a dry brush, you want it to be dry, but you still want to be able to control how dry you get it. It's almost see-through, but not quite. Turn them a little bit this way for me. And we're just going to take some brushes in different directions, different levels of strength on the brush. So the more you press down, the more you get on. Very, very light amounts because you want the dirt to still show through. Otherwise, it's all green, and we don't want that at all. When I come back in with the reddish color mixed in with the Army Green, it's not going to be nearly as grassy feeling. I might actually put some yellow in it, and that'll be maybe more like the autumn grass. Yeah, that's not too bad. A little bit more of that. I like it. What do you think? What are you guys painting, or what are you all painting tonight, this evening? There we go. You can really see that nice. That looks good. Always start subtle and work your way up. So I'm adding a little bit more of the green now. This is much more noticeable in person. Should be more noticeable on the stream as well. Look at that. I like it. Spin the figure around a little bit. Make sure I get the back end. Make sure to get the tops. Nice. Now on grass doesn't obviously have just one color, and so I think we're going to mix a little bit of a yellow with the green, and that's going to add a little bit of that maybe turning into autumn feeling. Because right now it feels just a little bit monocolor. Just this is brown and green on it. And I'm not really feeling that. So I'm going to add a little bit of the yellow. Assuming, of course, my yellow is anywhere near me, which it's not. Give me a second. Ooh, it's not going to be yellow. I'm going to add a more of a leather. There we go. Amber gold. So, this one, that color, amber gold, that one is a highlight for a brown, a leather brown. So it will work well mixing in with a green. I think I'm going to like that. That'll be good. Couple of drops of that. We don't need too much since this whole process takes a very light amount of paint. It does not take a lot of paint to dry brush a small area like this. Anything, a large group or anything to that effect, yeah, might be an issue. But one figure, one base, not a problem. Mix that in. Hope you guys like the new setup. It's pretty cool. Gigabyte Studio, fully locked and loaded. We have better intros now. Give you a better idea of what's going on in the stream. And that mixed really, really, really green. So I will have to put some more of that gold in. But we'll get it there. So you guys excited about Star Wars coming out? If you are, put it in the comments. What are you most anticipating with the new movie? Because I could probably talk for days. There's all kinds of the conspiracies. There's all kinds of theories going on. Who are Rey's parents? Who are Rey's parents? That is a good question. I'm not going to talk about this unless y'all really, really want to in terms of Rey's parentage. But I will definitely talk about the movie. For sure. So I'm now ready for the second layer of dry brush, and this is going to be a little bit more on the yellow side from the green. So I'll show that with a thumb, the difference. On the left-hand side is the traditional army green and the brighter one. So now let's try to put that on there. And we're just going to put it in parts, not over the whole thing. There we go. Nice. All right, and let's go up another highlight. Add some more of that amber gold to my green. Mix it in. I'll show you what I'm mixing while I'm doing it. So there we go. It's back here. So I'm trying to mix in a little bit of the green into the amber gold so that it does a better blend than straight up into the color. So that should be pretty good. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, wonderful dying grass. Not even, I guess it's technically dying, right? That's what happens with grass. Till the next spring. And I'm going to hit this from multiple angles because you're going to see it from different directions. So I got to get it from this side. It's very similar to how metals refract. If you're just dry brushing, got to get it from multiple directions, multiple sides. Look at that. Yeah, that's looking good. So let me see if I can turn the gain down on that camera. You can see the difference. Yeah, it's all right. You can still see it pretty well. It's wonderful. There we go. Focus just right. And now let's take in another highlight, and that's going to be directly into the auburn color. It's not auburn. The amber color. Or close enough to it while still mixing a little bit of green in. There we go. Make sure it's really dry. If you overdo it, you end up caking the color on, and we don't want that for sure. Look at that. That looks good. I might have moved that a little bit closer. Out of focus. Yeah, you can definitely feel that highlight for sure. You can sense it in the force. There. Oh yeah. That's good. Make sure I get the backside. Can't forget that. Bam. All right, and the final one, I'm going to take a little bit of amber gold. Pretty much pure amber gold. Nope, still mixing it in. Don't want that. So a little bit of the green goes a long way in, I guess, tainting the amber gold. We don't want that. We want the pure color. And you'll see it in just a second. There we go. Here it comes. There it is. That's the one. It's not as easy to see on the video, unfortunately. One limitation of the webcams, but that's pretty darn good in person. It looks very grass-like. There we go. Bring it back a little bit. Let me tilt that down. Tilt the camera down. We can really see it. And then change our focus and get some of that brightness away. There we go. That's it. There you go. So it looks like it's been worked in. Whenever you're doing bases, you can very easily just grab one of the textured bases that, for instance, Citadel makes. Sterling's is great, just a generic brown mud. And then when you're graduating colors, just think about, if you're doing grass, think about what season it's in. If it's completely dead grass, it's much closer to the dead brown. The different grass, Bermuda grass turns golden, or just dead. If it's in the middle of summer, it might be an incredibly vibrant green, and the vibrant green has a lot of life to it, and the different things that you're looking at, you're going to want highlights that are higher up, might be even brighter. So I could take this highlight one step further. If I want to keep the warmth, I would put a white and maybe a yellow or an orange-ish thing. So I'm going to experiment with that and see what happens. Basically, a little bit of the warmth refracting off of the sun. It's going to look great. I think it'll look good. So I got my orange. So the mini tripod stand is from, I think, Amazon. You just look up mini tripod. It's Targus is the brand I got it from. And the top, the holder, is the Citadel paint handle. And you can screw the actual mini holder off of the paint handle, and you can, it's a standard tripod screw, so you can put it on a large tripod, small tripod, whatever you want, however your working space works for you. And this is super great for me because it keeps it at eye level, so I don't have to hunch over. This is literally at a little bit above shoulder height for me, which is great. I love it. Sip of my Sprite here. All right, we're going to experiment with this orange and this white. It's going to turn a little yellow. I'm not sure. We're going to give it a shot. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But, you know, you got to try sometimes. It might be a little extreme. Wish me luck. We'll have to see. A little bit of the orange. It's getting there. The mixing colors is always tough, and I don't like to mix large amounts if I'm doing a large... let's say army worth. I go ahead and get, if I'm looking for a specific color that I'm looking for, I go ahead and get that color because I don't want to take the chance that my mixes go off based off of, you know, I did 2 drops this time and accidentally did 3 drops, and that completely changes what your color looks like depending on what it is. So this one is definitely an orange. This is definitely what I'm going for with the autumn So hopefully that comes out the way I want it to. Please. Be nice. Be nice, paints. There we go. So you can see on my hand there. That should come off. Very nice. Here we go. There we go. All right. This is not too bad. I'm liking how it's turning out. And what this is doing, so I'm putting an orange on the green. And because, for whatever reason, color theory and whatnot, it's turning it more of the yellow, which is exactly what I want. So as you can see there, that looks, to me, especially my eye, that looks exactly like Bermuda grass is during fall and winter. It looks a nice autumn color. You still get some of the green that's in there because some grass would still be alive. But for the most part, it is fully converted to that nice kind of golden yellow effect. But you still have greens underneath. You still have browns underneath. If you wanted to, you could add another wash on top of it and come back over again. And that just continues to add the depth. But too much wash, be careful with too much wash. If you do too much, it's just going to mess it all up. You don't want to muddy up, because you have to keep the texture. It's all a matter of figuring out the right amount that works for your eye, what you think. Now, we're doing a close-up here, but I'm going to pull the camera back, or the mini back. I think pulling the camera back is going to work better. And then you can see what the effect looks like from a little bit further of a distance. So give it a second. It's going to shake. There we go. And let's get this focus right. There we go. So on the backhand side, I'm going to show you the before. That's plain Stirland mud. And after, grassy knoll. Autumn grassy knoll. And I will throw a picture up on the Gigabytes group. If you're not a part of the Gigabytes group, go ahead and join it. It's public. That allows you to get updated when we have new things in store, as well as whenever we're doing live streams, you get notified. If you're not notified of our live streams, put that setting on. Make sure you're notified when we do them. And I'll throw a picture of this because it looks great. I think it's a very good effect. I like a little more extreme of a contrast between that yellow and the green. So it works. So thanks y'all for joining me. I'm Jon Caspian, and we will see y'all later.